Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details, as well as questions about availability for this or any of our watches. Today, we discuss a bit of a modern cult watch from a brand that's getting more and more attention due to its sports watch lines. This is the Tonda 1950 from Parmigiani Fleurier. Now, folks are realizing how impressive Parmigiani is. Under Michel Parmigiani, since 1996, they've aggregated all of the facets of watch production: hands, wheels, bridges, plates, dials, cases, all movement components within the Parmigiani family of companies. And thanks to a long-time endowment and patronage from a pharmaceutical empire, they've been able to punch above their weight, kind of the way Porsche used its Volkswagen patents during the 50s, 60s, and 70s to do things it never could have done at the volumes that it operated. Parmigiani has been able to match the likes of Zenith or Jaeger-LeCoultre, which have massive group money to fund their manufacturers. This watch shows how all those Parmigiani component companies come together. 39 millimeters in diameter in white gold, 8.2 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 43.8 millimeters, which is truly impressive stuff, and then 22 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. You can see that the watch is barely broader lug to lug than it is wide in diameter, which is why on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the lugs come nowhere near the edge of my wrist. And you can even see that from over the top, which exaggerates the stance width of a watch. Super thin, it'll float right underneath the cuff. This is a dress watch par excellence. I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, making it a viable unisex option. Now, there is some loom on those Delta style hands. We have a strap of high grade, medium rectangular scale alligator leather. Dark brown, we have a semi-gloss finish. We have a sheer cut edge that's lacquered for refinement with a monotone stitch. One of the other stakeholders in Parmigiani, Hermes, which is why we get buttery smooth Hermes leather straps on Parmigiani watches. Really, this feels like it's been broken in, and yet you could see no crimping, no gouging. It's like the seat of a Ferrari. We have a buckle that echoes the design of the lugs, which shows excellent design continuity. And even little parts like this are made inside the Parmigiani family of companies. We have this wonderful Tonda case, and you can see the lugs welded on. This is the manual, slow-going, and old-fashioned way to make a case by hand. The only way to get that super sharp break between lug and case is to weld them together and then file away the gathered metal from the weld. All of high polish. You can see the lugs are physically separate from the case for both aesthetic and ergonomic excellence. Parmigiani logo on the push-down crown, 30 meters water-resistant domed bezel. We have this lovely slate or anthracite gray dial with small seconds, and then we have white gold hands as well as dart-style applique indices and a Parmigiani applique oval logo surround. Note the use of hacking seconds, so you can stop the seconds hand and synchronize to a reference time. Turn it all over, and we have a movement from Vaucher, which is Parmigiani's movement company. Now, this is the PF701 automatic winding. You can see it uses a micro rotor, elaborately decorated so that it can be as thin as a manual wind and also have no obstruction to your case back view, just like a manual wind, but with the convenience of an automatic winder. Now, it's got a 48-hour power reserve, a 3 hertz beat rate, a chronometer style 5-position adjustment. It all pivots on 29 joules, and it is ultra thin at under 4 millimeters thick. It uses ceramic bearings for the micro rotor for more efficient winding, and you can see it features a free sprung balance for both better shock resistance and more precise adjustment. Finishing is excellent. It's on par with, I would say, the likes of Audemars Piguet, which is high praise for a company that prior to the Tonda PF and Tonda GT sports watches didn't get a whole lot of attention, but at Parmigiani, miracles happen, and even a series production automatic like this can be as finely finished and engineered as AP's best. And AP is Holy Trinity. We have stripes, we have engine turning, we have beveling of a high grade with black polished screw heads. You can see satination on the wheels and solarization on the barrel cover. And again, all of this water resistant down to 30 meters. One of the ways that this watch fits best on a small wrist and gets there is that there's a little bit of of a flatting off to the flank of the case so that the strap can be super close hauled to the case. You can see how its pivot point is even inboard of the edge of these super narrow lug-to-lug lug spans. So the pivot points are even further inboard. And because there is a little recess in the case band, the strap can be cinched right up to the case with no impediment to its motion. There's just a lot of brilliant design details on this watch. Parmigiani, a brand on the rise. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.